Welcome back to the Cruise Dynasty podcast. Back at it again, where it's all about the fake stuff, but we win real money. No Craft Man tonight. He's at woke ass Disney, woken it up. But with that, the tech guy, it's me and C Swizzy. We've been disagreeing a lot during rookie season. C Swizzy in the building. What's going on, big dog?
Not much. Yeah, I wish we could all be liberal as hell like Kraft is being right now and just suck on the teat of liberalness, but it's just not in the cards for everybody. Some of us still have our dignity.
People already, hey man, these motherfuckers dumb as hell. They just talking shit, man. But nah, shout out to the crab, man. He'll be back soon, chopping it up. I know he's chomping at the bit to hop on the pod. Had to drop him some content though. If you gonna be on a long road, long rides, you got to listen to some of this shit. So basically tonight, me and old Swizzy, we done been in 2 rookie drafts. Craftman's done been in 3 plus, at least 3. And we just gonna look at what happened. What did people do when real money was on the line? When you got your real money, what are you doing? What picks are you making? What players are you getting? And I said it. I said this rookie season was gonna be wild, and it sure lived up because I've seen 3 different rookie drafts. I've seen 3 different shits go down. What you think, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I would say we've been doing the home league for about 3 years now. I think that more crazy shit went down in this draft than any rookie draft that we've had. Like, I mean, we'll get to it, but I saw something that I thought I'd never see in my life happen during this rookie draft. That one time.
Might be a little roast episode. Might be a little roast. Oh, Crafting his boys back at it again. I'm just kidding, man. I don't really hate on trades too much, but
this one's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
The reaction from the crew to this trade was old Kraft and his boys. Man, but let's just start it from the top, man. With that said, this is our Dynasty League. Your standard 12-man PPR tight end premium super flex draft. And that the 101 was Zamil Galani. He took Caleb Williams. That was pretty much a given. And he was shopping it around a little bit. I know he hit me up, and I really didn't want to go up there and get Caleb Williams, but I'm going to do my due diligence. And I just was thinking, I was like, oh, well, Z, what's the price? And he said, man, some of them first you got. And I'm just thinking, I don't really want to do that shit. So Z goes 101 with Caleb Williams. Akil goes Marv. At the 102 went Marv. That was pretty standard, too. Some of these things were standard. The first questionable pick comes up right here, though. The first questionable one. Old DT. Shout out to my main guy. I've been I've been fucking with him a lot lately, Chris. Talking about that Drake and Kendrick beef. I'm sitting here saying this and that. I ain't hardly listening to none of them Drake
I really
songs.
feel like what I said, man. Like, don't nobody give a fuck about an argument between a midget and a Canadian, bro. Don't nobody give 2 fucks about no argument between them. I saw somebody say this beef is bigger than Tupac and Biggie. I was like, this is bitch beef, bro. This is not shit. They saying a lot of stuff, but there's not a lot of doing, There's not a lot of doing.
Man, that junk just cracks me up. I'm just sitting here just talking shit to David. Like, whatever David says, I'm saying the opposite. I know everybody in the crew, they're probably like, get Matt Hamm off my messages. They all muting that shit.
I'm just saying, you know me, I'm in there saying stupid shit.
Oh, man, that shit is too funny. But David, to me, I feel like he needed a quarterback. He goes Malik Neighbors at the 103. I haven't seen that done yet, and stuff I've seen on the bird, Malik Neighbors is a good player. There ain't no doubt about it. I would have taken Jaden Daniels personally. Not that I'm a huge Jaden Daniels fan, but the super flex and Malik Neighbors is still with the Giants. I think it was an okay landing spot because he ain't got no competition.
Yeah.
So, not a terrible pick for David. We did talk about this on the pod with Duncan Akil. He was at the 105, and he gave me a whole first round to move up 2 spots. To me, it makes sense if you draft a quarterback there to give up that kind of capital. A wide receiver, a little goofy, I'd say, but what can you do, man? He went and got his guy. He paid the price because that 103 wasn't cheap because I didn't want to come off it. But when you give me a first round that I think is going to be high, I have no choice. I just got to do that shit. What you think about Malik Neighbors at the 3? Because you was at the 4, Chris, so I felt like you already knew what DT was thinking anyways.
So I mean, I hit up DT, and I was like, "So like, what you doing?" I was like, "Where you going right here?" I was like, "Cause I know you need a quarterback, dog." And he was like, "Well, you already said what I was gonna do. What I was gonna do on the pod." I was like, "No, bro." And
Oh,
I mean, I went into this draft thinking I'm taking Malik Neighbors at the 104.
right.
That's how I went into this draft. I said, "There's no way in fucking hell that David, with his team, now, if his quarterbacks was fine, this pick is justified.
Right.
But right now, in a super flex, this dude's sitting with, he's got Anthony Richardson, who just missed most of the year. Then he's got Daniel Jones, who's talking about competing with Drew Lock. I mean, like, we're at that point with Daniel Jones at this point.
Heck, he
Then
missed a lot of the year too.
he's got Jake Browning. Like after that, like we're talking backups and stuff. I'm not in the best situation for quarterback either, but for you to take a receiver here, it didn't make much sense to me, especially with Jaden Daniels being there because he gets stuff done with his legs, and I just feel like a Russian quarterback in a super flex league can be like really good to grab right there, and literally there'd be no downside, I think, to it unless he gets hurt like the first week because they drafted this kid super early. He's gonna play.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he
Yeah.
just took it because David is a Giants fan. Maybe it's a little bit of
Hey,
the hometown bias coming through, but I don't know.
we say it. Me and Craftman say it all the time. When you got that player on your team, you gonna be watching them every Sunday. You
Mm.
want to get, So I don't blame DT. And I look at DT. He's got a solid wide receiver core. There's no doubt
He
about it.
does. Yeah, that's why I was like saying. I was like, I mean, he easily could have went quarterback here and been fine. Taking, Worthy
Right.
out later because I ended up not getting him where I wanted him at, and he would have been fine. I mean, you wouldn't have got Malik Neighbors, but I mean, you would have been fine and had a quarterback.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see how it pans out. I just think that there's just no way I'm not taking a quarterback right there with my quarterback need.
Only time will tell. Chris, you go at the 104. Jaden Daniels. I've heard podcasts taking them at the 102. I've heard 103 a lot, mainly. In our one quarterback league, we'll probably talk about it a little bit. I made a trade, and in our one quarterback league, it came down. I was sitting there with Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. I took Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams. So
I
Jaden
agree
Daniels
with
is
that in a one quarterback league as well.
Jaden Daniels is a good player. So Chris, no doubt, got him a quarterback for the future and with Washington. Good landing spot. These quarterbacks, the top ones, got some decent landing spots. So can't complain with that pick. You wanted to say anything about your 104?
I mean, yeah, like I came in kind of the same situation as David. Like I needed a quarterback right here, and then I had 2 other first-round picks, so I was like, okay. And I already said I came into this thinking I'm taking Neighbors because I'm not going to go ahead and take McCarthy at 4 just to go ahead and do that. Like not with the way that I see that the drafts fold out. But I mean, I feel good about it. He was right there. It was a no-brainer. I picked it within a minute. It was just a no-brainer pick, easy. Hopefully it'll pan out.
Good ass value right there to get him at the 104. Next, Romo Dunze went at the 105 to yours truly. Now I know Chris was fading Romo Dunze a little bit. If you check our episode that I just dropped out there, I say I wasn't really willing to fade Roma Dunze. Basically, Chris, kind of, what I was thinking was this was my chance to get a receiver right here. And I at least wanted to get the top 3 guys because I figured I was going to get one of these quarterbacks in the back. Now, I didn't think it was gonna fall the way it did. I was snagging them all. I couldn't help it. I was like, well, this is the currency. I need some quarterbacks. That you can always use some more. I went Roma Dunze with a 5. I've got him ranked in my rookie rankings as a 5, even ahead of Drake May and JJ McCarthy and all of them. So I felt this was one pick that I was like, I think it's falling to me. I'm just rolling with it no matter what. Next was back to you, C Squizzy. This is where the chess game started going a little bit. We started seeing some trade offers. I know me and you was in the mix. I know Noah Dick Blower was in the mix because then I was sitting here staring down some decisions and didn't know what the hell to do at times. C Swizzy goes Brock Bowers. What was the train of thought right there?
So I was originally going to take Worthy right here. I was trying to get that pick, I was trying to get your pick or the pick after because I was like, okay, I can take both of these guys, and then I've got like a tight end monopoly over here. Like, you know, you saying like currency is quarterbacks, it's also tight end premium, and I'm sitting on George Kittle, Mark Andrews, Brock Bowers. So I was trying to move Andrews pretty hard. Nobody was biting on it. I knew you needed a tight end.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna hit Matt with Mark Andrews, and I believe wasn't a second. I think it was Mark Andrews in a second. I was gonna send more, but I was just like, all right, whatever. And then so nobody did that, and so I was like joking. I was like, well, Matt ain't got a tight end, so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and take the best fucking tight end in the draft right here, like the best prospect.
Yeah, look,
I know I'm good.
I want to say something about that because that's where the chess match came in because Chris had sent me Mark Andrews, a good deal, not a bad deal at all. But I was thinking in my head, I said, Brock Bowers is going to be sitting right here. And when he comes to me, then that's when I'm going to start hitting up old David and everybody out here. I'm going to start fishing them around. So I think when I look back, I should have accepted Mark Andrews in that deal. But I didn't think he was going to take Brock Bowers. But hell, and Noah Dick Blow was sending me stuff too with a tight end, and I was like, fuck, I don't know what to do. The pressure was on. And I was like, well, I'll just stick with what I got because I didn't want to fuck it up. But yeah, Brock Bowers here.
Oh, you definitely fucked it up. We're going to talk about it. You fucked it up.
It's funny. Chris is saying I fucked it up, and I'm thinking, damn, the draft couldn't have gone any better. Hell, we're sitting there.
Just with this pick, I think. I mean, like, when we talk about Drake May, we'll talk about that.
Right here, 10. What is that? 107, I think. We went with I went with Drake May, and I already got 2 good quarterbacks. I wasn't gonna let Drake May fall. To me, I like Drake May as a talent. Chris talks about the landing spot, and I agree with Chris to an extent. It's just my train of thought is, at some point, the Patriots got to turn it around. So let's see if it's gonna be this guy right here. And at the 106, like this year specifically, the quarterbacks, you're getting these quarterbacks at good prices. I don't know if it's going to be like that next year or any other year. So I went Drake May. Chris, go ahead, tee off, man.
I mean, I just, like you said, you had 2 good quarterbacks, and you had 3 picks as well, I think, didn't you? So,
yeah,
you could get McCarthy on the back end, and you could have took something else right here. I know there was a lot on the board right here. Still, I mean, I know you needed running backs too. Jonathan Brooks was on the board right here, but I know I wouldn't have taken him earlier than what I took him at in a super flex. I ended up taking him at the 10, I think.
You 100% sniped me on that one, Chris. 100% you sniped my ass.
But yeah, no, I think you could have gone like receiver right here, and then a few picks later taking that quarterback because. I tell you, Matt, in this league, it just didn't look like any of these dudes valued that quarterback. After I seen that, I was just like, okay, so, I think I could have got away with having McCarthy. I think the way things fell, I could have taken McCarthy at the 10.
Right.
Yeah, I could have. So, I mean.
I was hoping one of y'all was going to do it because I wanted Jonathan Brooks at the 11. So when you took him at the 10, I mean, it's funny. When you come into these drafts, you have a plan, but them motherfucking things never.
Oh no, they never plan out, never. And even if everything lines up perfectly, what I've noticed, like people take what you think they're gonna take. You fucking overthink it, and you're like, man, I don't even know if I want to do this shit no more.
Hey, but there's huge differences between you can do a rookie mocks and you can rank and do all these mocks all you want, but when it comes to the real time, when it's real pressure, like things change up. So yeah, I went Drake May, and then Noah Dick Blower. Ooh, he's gonna be a centerpiece of discussion tonight. And one thing that I like about people like Noah Dick Blower and Chris and Kraft and P Miller is they really just don't give a fuck what everybody else thinks. They're just gonna do whatever the fuck they want to do. And I'd be damned if Noah Dick Blower didn't do that this draft. Hey, first of all, he starts off Lad McConkey, or I call him McHonky. Um, Old Lad, he went at the what is this? The 108 crack?
Yeah, it's the 108.
So ahead of Xavier Worthy, I don't know if I wouldn't have done that, but I'm not gonna sit here and hate on Lad McConkey neither. I mean, he was starting to fly up rookie drafts because he's got the rookie,
Good landing spot too.
got
Good
the
landing spot.
So we're gonna go through Dynasty real quick at the very end, and old Kraft, man, y'all might laugh y'all's ass off where he took Lad McConkey. I saw it today and almost snotted all over myself when I saw that. But Lad McConkey, I ain't gonna hate too much on it. I would have went Worthy personally. I know you probably would have went Worthy yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I would just go Worthy just because both situations are phenomenal. Like, you can't argue with either one of their situations. But right now, I just feel like Worthy's going to have the best value straight up because we know Rashee Rice is missing these games, and this is going to be Worthy's chance to get out there and prove himself that he can be out there. And they traded up to get this kid. They traded a rival like the Bills to go get this kid. Like,
if you think about it, it's like, what are the Bills thinking, man? When you see
dude, the Bills fans, have you seen Bills fans are pissed? They're like, you literally just gave them the player. Like, you gave them this dude.
That's gonna be cracking me up. And I mean, they've been competing in the AFC for the past 3 or 4 years. You throw the Bengals in there a little bit, and
I mean, it was kind of like Detroit sending the Vikings T.J. Hawkinson, like the fucking rival. You just gave him the player, like.
It's wild how that one panned out because now they got Laporta, and it's like, well, it ended up.
I know. Maybe you can't say anything after that.
Right. So maybe the Bills, maybe it'll work out for him. But Hakeem DT, he goes Xavier Worthy, and that's the 109.
Because I pick again at the 110.
So Xavier Worthy, DT, he goes wide receiver. I'm not even. You can't even be mad at him about it. Like outside of quarterbacks, you want you some tight ends, but the wide receivers, they hold value a long time. So I'm definitely. I can't be mad at DT for that. He built up that wide receiver room. We're in PPR.
I can be.
Well, go ahead, Chris.
It just goes back to you have a quarterback need, and right after that, you got a running back need, and you took 2 receivers right here. I mean, I like Xavier Worthy. I'm pretty high. I mean, hell, you'll figure out in the home league. I took him at 4. Right. I took him at the 4. So I just think that
QB league.
In a 1 QB, yeah, there are different stipulations around that one, but no, I just feel like you could have went and took Jonathan Brooks right here, had you another running back just in case. But I mean, I'm not, not like I see where he's coming from, and I do agree that wide receivers is going to hold value longer than the running back. But at some point, you got to start building to compete. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to teach it, I feel like.
I'm with you. DT did his thing, Xavier Worthy. So if you think about it, he's walking away. Well, we'll go through a lot of his picks and think about his team, but he's walking away with Neighbors, Worthy. Like, that's solid right there. So, see Swizzy at the 110 sniped the fuck out of my ass because I was definitely going Jonathan Brooks. I had that one planned out. I knew it. I just knew it was coming to me. And then, Chris, how long had you even had the 110? Not that long. I know you did a trade with Kraft.
I did a trade with Kraft. We ended up doing the trade that we talked about on the pod, James Cook and that. And the only reason I didn't accept that sooner was because I was trying to work out the deal with Amon-Ra to get Travis Etienne and those 2 first-round picks. And that way I knew I had another running back and I could give up James Cook and keep Josh Jacobs. But we did that. I gave him James Cook in a 3rd, and he gave me that I wish that I was gonna go back and counter him with like a. I was gonna try to haggle him a bit, try to get like that first and maybe his early second right there, but I mean, we'll figure out why it was a good idea for him to keep that second here soon at 205. I mean,
Right.
that's still crazy.
So
But no, I just take Jonathan Brooks right here.
yeah.
I wanted Worthy. I was going into this thinking right here I'm taking Worthy because I thought in my head there's no way in hell David's already not taking the quarterback he needed. There's no way in hell he doesn't take a running back right here. There's
Right.
no way. He takes Xavier Worthy and I'm like, well fuck. What the fuck am I about to do? And on the board right now I've got like Brian Thomas Jr. I've got Keon Coleman and all of them, and I'm like, man, I don't want to take them at the 110. And then I was like, I already took Jaden Daniels. I don't want to take JJ McCarthy right here. But I remember on my roster I have Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard, so I was like, okay. And I'm a Panthers fan, so I mean,
Yeah.
fuck it. I'll take Jonathan Brooks right here.
Damn, you got all three of them, Chris?
Yep.
So no matter what, you get
So
one of
so I'm
them's
getting
going.
value like out of something like
Damn.
yeah. And I went
Well,
ahead and did that, so
so
that's why he got picked.
So fuck Chris and fuck David, because if it wasn't for David, then Chris don't make this pick, so then I don't get Brooks. So then I go JJ McCarthy. I don't even like JJ McCarthy. I think he's ass. I've been done said it. His landing spot though is phenomenal.
Yep.
So at the 111, I had no choice. I did have a choice. Chris will tell you I had a choice, but I took him at the 111 quarterbacks. I'm like, I don't even need them too much, but I'm just playing the value game at this point.
Your
And
receiver room is pretty decent too. Like at this
yeah,
point, like you really didn't really care about maybe like Keon Coleman right there, or
right. And Brian Thomas, and heck, I'm just a tad bit worried about Brian Thomas just because the Jags wouldn't go fix their O line. So
yeah.
it's like, I don't know. I'm a little worried about
For me,
that.
right there, like the next receiver off the board to me would always be Keon Coleman right there. Just
Right.
because like landing spot, they have no receivers. Like just get him and maybe he's gonna have to throw the ball to somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
So there I go quarterback. I just like the value of where I got Drake May and JJ McCarthy. It just kind of fell that way. I did not plan on taking these guys, but when there's a lot of chess being played up in them drafts, things just unfold different, like we've been saying. So DT at the end to close out the first, he takes Brian Thomas Jr. So let me recap that real quick. Another wide receiver for David. So man, you know what? I'm gonna give David a little bit of props. I kind of like his draft a little bit, but real quick, Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, Jaden Daniels, Roma Dunze, Brock Bowers, Drake May, Lab McHonkey, Xavier Worthy, Jonathan Brooks, JJ McCarthy, Brian Thomas, and we get to this round two. Zamil takes Keon Coleman, who's with Buffalo. The landing spot's great. You know, Chris, I see on Twitter, I'll be like, some people are like, he's just walking into Stephon Diggs' role, and then other people's like, he ain't taking Diggs' role, he's taking Gabe Davis's role. And I'm just thinking, man, he's taking Keon Coleman's role. He's gonna do his own thing. He's gonna
I'll be
play his own
like,
game.
he can't take nobody's role because them motherfuckers is gone, bro.
Yep.
They gone.
It's just he's gonna be his own guy up there.
Yeah.
They probably gonna run the ball a little more anyways. So
Yeah.
I don't know. People just unreasonable out there. They just say this and that. I really don't dislike the pick by Zamil. I'm looking at Zamil's draft right here, and I think he had a good draft.
Yeah.
Keon Coleman, he took Jalen Wright in the third, got another quarterback in the fourth, but
Spencer Rattler, that one down there, that was like I feel like that like a fourth round low value pick right there. I feel like that was a good pick.
right.
Spencer Rattler, because I mean he was highly talented. Like after that 1 year, and then he just had a big drop off. Like this dude was being talked about being like the number 1 overall fucking pick. Like this dude was
Right.
being talked about like that. And he's going to a situation. Derek Carr's not playing good. So
I agree. I agree with that. I'm with you a whole way. And Akil, he goes Bo Nix, and then he takes 2 tight ends. He takes a Ben Sinnott in the third and Jatavian Sanders in the fourth. And I like his draft because I think me and Akil, we talk a lot of shit back and forth, but I think me and Akil, in some ways, when it comes to positional value, I think we think kind of similar a little bit in some ways. Like positional value is important. He goes Bo Nix at the 2-2, and you're getting a starting quarterback in the second round and Superflex, like that shit really does not happen. So We've said it a million times, me and you and Crowd. Like, we're not exactly Bo Nix fans out here now, but I can't hate on grabbing a quarterback in the second round. It looks like he's gonna start. He's over there with Zach Wilson and all them. Like,
Yeah.
I
would have took Bo Nix over Drake May on this trial.
Damn, Chris.
I'm serious.
Just burying the Patriots. Burying Drake May. Trey Benson was our next running back off the board. He went at the 203 to Crack Room. I thought Chris, I don't know if you saw in the little sleeper chat. I said, yeah, you had a good offseason, crackhead.
Yeah, I did see that.
Shout out to Crack Room. I thought he had a good draft too. I'm sitting here looking at it and it's like, did anybody just have a bad draft? Like, I don't really think. And now I remember. It's like, I don't know, man. My boy MDB. But I'm just saying, like, I'd have to go look at his team to really even say that. I can't really say. Crack Room took Xavier Leggett. He had a lot of picks. It seems like he was going out there picking a lot of players. Let's go ahead and get down to the crux of it all, though, Swizzy. Old Michael Penix goes at the 205, and I ain't mad at anybody taking Michael Penix at the 205. I was even saying whenever I was yelling at Craftman, I was hollering at him. I said, yo, Craftman, I'd take him at the back of the first if I had to. But I know in these rookie drafts, you ain't going to have to because ain't nobody going to pick Michael Penix. So here we are at the 205. I don't even have it pulled up in front of me. What was that trade? We had a big time trade go.
I don't have it pulled up, but I can pull it up.
Basically, it was this. Craftman at the 205 gave up Penix, and he received a first round plus maybe a second and a third. A first, a second, and a third, I think it was, Chris.
So he got, for the 205, at which Michael Penix was taken, Noah traded him a 2025 Crafts 2025 first, the 210, and the 305.
And first of all, we don't even have to bring up the 210 or the 305. A first for the 205 pick, Chris.
I texted the crew, like our little group chat with me and Matt and Kraft, and I said, are we not going to talk about the fact that this man just got a first plus for the 205? Like, I mean, if this is your guy, go get your guy by all means. But like,
he got his guy.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he got his guy. I mean, like I said,
I would really like to know the behind the scenes of those trade discussions right there. Like, was there any counters? Was Craftman like, this is a quarterback, man, quarterback? Like, I'm sitting here saying all this, but if you're drafting a quarterback at 205, obviously the value is a little lower. In the end, though, if Penix in a few years is popping off and he's balling out, we'll look back and we'll say, Noah Dick Blower knew something we didn't, but you might could have got him for 2 seconds or something like that.
I just don't see Craftman being like, no, I gotta have a first, second, and a third for the 205. I just don't see it. I don't know. Maybe he did, but I just don't see it. I don't see it at all. But man, I don't know. This is wild. This is wild to me. You traded a first plus, dude. First plus.
I tell you what, we had Big Duncan to Kill on the pod not too long ago. They were up in arms about this one, man. The gifts or whatever they called. I even said, I've been playing Dynasty for a few years. We're like on year 4 or something like that now, Chris. Just playing Dynasty, learning. You learn year after year. I've learned you don't overreact to Dynasty trades, even in a little bit. Heck, I know you know that. You make trades, and everybody says the other side wins every time. So I know
we do our little power rankings before the year, and I'm always like 8 or 9, but I'm in the championship for like 2 years.
I will say that though, Chris. I tried to rank them today, and that shit was impossible. There's like 8 teams that could win that shit. It's only Mike and David that can't.
Oh no, it really is only Mike and David in our league that can't win at all.
But so yeah, that it's like, I'm not roasting on NDB like that. NDB's my guy. Nice guy he is. Nice guy. Crazy.
He's a real nice guy. He'll give you a first, a second, and a third for the 205.
Oh man, dude. Very generous. Very generous.
Very generous.
It is funny because NDB really is a nice guy. I mean, we call him Noah Dick Blower for crying out loud, and the dude don't even he ain't said nothing.
He embraces it, dog. Like,
Oh man, shout out to NDB for real, man. But I say, even I just want to bring up my message. I say I don't overreact to dynasty trades, but if there ever was collusion, it had to be this
it's
one.
this one.
It had to be this one right here,
It's
man.
definitely this one.
Oh, Craftman and his boys, man. Golly. But listen, when I was talking to Akil and Duncan, they were talking shit. I was having his back just a little bit in my own way. I was like, it's not like we didn't just see David Thomas trade Jaden Reed for Blake Corum, you know what I'm saying? But they're just like, well, that's just what DT does. He does that stuff. And I'm just like, well, maybe this is just what NDB does. Like, it's just what they do. Play Dynasty how you want to play Dynasty, though. That, it is what it is.
Yep.
And your money will be in our pockets for years to come. That was really the big main trade that went down. Phoenix and all right, so Pearsall went at the 206, AD Mitchell at the 207. Troy Franklin. I felt like it was pretty good value because me and Craftman, when we first watched some film, we were saying could probably be our wide receiver 4.
So
Things
right
didn't work
here,
out
it was
that.
like between Roman Wilson and Troy Franklin for me right here. Because I don't know, it just feels like Pittsburgh be hitting on these fucking wide receivers, and hell, the only other person they got is George Pickens, but they're gonna have a pretty run heavy offense. I feel like. Then I just looked at Troy Franklin while he's in Denver. We don't know what's gonna go on over there, and Jerry Judy's gone, so
no competition.
No competition. So I went ahead and just took a shot on him at the 20. What is that? The 208.
Yeah, 208, 20. Yeah, something like that. 208, and so then Kraft goes Roman. No. What happens? Oh yeah, all right. Well, here's the other trade. I drafted Blake Corum. I really didn't even realize I did this trade when I did it. Because David had sent me Jaden Reed for just one of those late seconds. I was like, well, I just drafted Blake Corum, but I thought he was asking for the 212. I was at work. I just saw it. I hit accept. I walked back in. I'm just like, damn, I can't believe David just did that. And I come back in and I realized it was for Blake Corum. So I didn't have Blake Corum no more, but I mean, I didn't care. I mean, I got Jaden Reed. I'm not even saying I'm the highest on Jaden Reed, but I think David should have been looking for a late first for Jaden Reed personally.
Oh, yeah.
209. That I know David I think I made David a little mad when I brought it up in the group chat because I was like, nobody even batted the eye when David did that. It was just like business as usual. but I mean,
I just think this is where it started to hit David that, oh man, dude, I didn't take nobody that I needed to take this draft. Like I took 3 receivers right here, and he may have been shopping them around. I didn't get any offers, so I don't know for sure, but he may have been shopping these guys around.
Other than that, I will not hate on David's draft, I don't think.
No, I think he's got value.
One move in the back. Yeah, just the one, and who knows, man. I'm a Romeo Dobbs guy anyways. I think he'll end up being better. For all we know, Jaden Reed's value has peaked. So it really should have been like a sell high moment for DT personally, but he did what he did, and then Craftman goes Roman Wilson. He's always like Roman Wilson. So you know he was getting his guy. Zamil goes and gets Jalen Polk. Man, Zamil had a lot of picks. I didn't realize he had so many. I went and got Marshawn Lloyd at the back half of the second. So our second round ended up, just to sum it up, Keon Coleman, Bo Nix, Trey Benson, Xavier Legette, Michael Penix, Pearsall, A.D. Mitchell, Troy Franklin, Blake Corum, Roman Wilson, Jalen Polk, Marshawn Lloyd. And that's pretty much Chris, is there any just like picks that you just stands out at the 3rd or 4th round? Or I thought, shout out to y'all. I thought a lot of y'all had some good drafts. Like, I ain't going to sit here
we mentioned it before. The Spencer Rattler in the 4th. I like that pick. As we talked about, I mean, if you watch college football the last few years, you should know who Spencer Rattler is. And this kid going this late, and he's going into a pretty good situation. Like we said, Derek Carr's not playing that well. If they need to shove somebody else in, it's probably going to be this kid. Another picks. Do what?
I like the crack room getting Jordan Travis in the back of the third. It was another quarterback. He's with the Jets. Aaron Rodgers just tore his Achilles, and the
Yeah.
dude's sitting right there behind him. So it's like, why not go ahead and take a shot on him? And Aaron Rodgers is old as dirt, eating shrooms, sitting in the shack. So I
Yep.
like that pick. I thought that was a good pick by Crack Room. Shout out to Crackhead.
Yep. I like the Akil's Carolina, the tight end for Carolina right there. We're running Tommy Tremble.
Right.
And he's not really like your prototypical tight end. So this kid could come in and get something. Another tight end that I actually like that I was going to pick like way late if I didn't go was actually Cade Stover for Houston right here. Dalton Schultz. I mean, like Dalton Schultz is a good player and all, but I feel like Cade Stover is like the exact same fucking player. Like I feel like that there was value right there, and if Dalton Schultz ever goes somewhere, I feel like that this kid will do fine with C.J. Stroud. Like if you're just going to take a shot in a tight end premium, and like you just want to have like a tight end that you can just sit in your taxi or something, I think that this was the guy that you could have took a shot. Him and Carolina, I think that was a good little value pick.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, I'm trying to get on to. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I know. I just want to say shout out to all y'all in Doo Dynasty. I think this is what a button up league. I know we have some goofy stuff, some goofy things go on, but really overall, there ain't nobody I'm really gonna hate on too much. I mean, everybody did their thing. I even saw the champ Fluxfield went out there and just made some slick, subtle moves, gained some value for the next season coming up. So champ's gonna champ. He's gonna do his own thing. Oh, Chris, I've got a draft for you right here that I pulled up. This came from the Craft Man and his crew at Dynasty. Shout out to all them boys over there in Dynasty. It's a 10-team Superflex league. This is our first straight up open reaction to this thing. I looked for just 1 second because I just wanted to see if Kraft really did what he said he did. and when he texted me, he did do it. Swizzy, he went for it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say, me and Chris don't know these guys' teams. This is just in a vacuum. This is just what we saw. Marv went at the 101.
In a Superflex?
Superflex League, 10-man. Marv goes 101. What you thinking, Chris? For all we know, this guy's got.
Josh
Yeah,
Allen and somebody else on the team. Like, but yeah, I mean, I could see it like 101, 102. So there's value there.
And Marv got the landing spot, and I was thinking to myself, if I did a dynasty ranking today, I probably got Marv 5, top of tier 2 is what I would say. So can't hate. So Caleb Williams, he goes to 2, and that's good value for whoever was sitting at the 102. I wonder what that was like. I wonder if he was really wanting Marv and he didn't get him. I wonder how that went down. Jaden Daniels went 3. Malik Neighbors went 4. So kind of chalk, except for the Marv at the 101. I've been seeing that a lot on Twitter, though, Chris. A lot of people are going Marv.
Yeah.
Our man, Craft Man, though, probably. I just want to know what. I mean, Craftman goes Lad McConkey at the 105. What in the mother? I know that he said he's got a ton of receivers and he went and got his guy, but I don't know about that one, man.
I don't know.
I just want to roast the fuck out of him.
I just couldn't take him at the 105. I couldn't take him that early, man. I just couldn't. Not with Worthy and Bowers and all these other players still on the board.
Right.
Like that.
You know, Bowers went next and to whoever, E. Temple, and then Brian Thomas went next. So Brian Thomas goes over Roma Dunze.
I was just even thinking about that. I was like, Roma Dunze still hasn't gone yet?
Still hasn't. And Drake May goes before Roma Dunze, too. I know you don't like that one, Chris.
Oh, fuck no, I don't like that. Fuck no.
So Roma Dunze goes at the 109 and McCarthy at the 110. So basically in your 10-man Superflex league, a lot of receivers went. Brian Thomas went up there, and Roma Dunze fell. I see that people don't like the Roma Dunze and fade him a little bit. I don't know if I'd fade him behind McConkey and Brian Thomas like that. Though. If I was Crab, I'd have still gone Roma Dunze and just been patient with it. If you thought, I know he's trying to win now in this league. That's about all I know. And I think Noah Dickblow is the champ in this league. Well, heck, I don't know if I think Noah Dick Blower did win. It could have been old Slim Easy over here though. Shout out to Slim Easy. I might have to get in another league with him, but Xavier Worthy 111 pretty much 201 in this league.
Damn.
So
that's great value at the
yeah.
201.
That was old Dick Blower. I don't know a Dick Blower. Impressive.
Yeah, that's good value.
So I'm with it. Blake Corum went ahead of Jonathan Brooks and Trey Benson in this draft.
I don't know about that.
Chris, they go back to back to back. It goes Blake Corum, Jonathan Brooks, Trey Benson.
I
don't know about that one either. I would have went Brooks, Benson, Corum.
Yeah.
And probably
Brooks, Benson, Corum. Yep.
Bo Nix went at the 210 in this draft right here. That's some good value. That's like pick 20. That'd be.
We also got to think this is a 10-man too, so.
They probably got quarterbacks.
Yeah, they probably are stacked. Yeah.
So I'm just glad that we took a look at this draft right here because the wide receivers mixed around everywhere, man. The quarterbacks mixed around a little bit. Running backs for sure got mixed around. I would have taken Blake Corum after all them guys for sure.
There's just no way to me that Jonathan Brooks wasn't the first running back off the board.
Yeah.
Like if you were looking for a running back, take him. Like yeah, he's with the Panthers and stuff, but he's gonna play.
Let's see who we got to roast. Party 20.
Party 20.
I don't know who that is. I want to know where the White Snake is. I gotta go look at my man, the White Snake. You know what? I can't even sit here and roast on the White Snake. I know that motherfucker ain't got no draft picks. Because after I done talked to him, that joker, he'll trade them all. So, yep. I mean, other than that, it just seems kind of, standard. Penix went at the 3-1. That's pretty, standard after Bo Nix, all that. So, yeah. I mean, I just, we took a little look at this draft right here. Me and Chris really can't say too much about it because we don't know these guys and know what their teams look like and stuff like that. But it was definitely interesting to see where these wide receivers went, and you never know what guys are gonna do. Like different dynasty leagues do different things. Like I know Kraft and them, they're a bunch of redraft guys coming in here playing dynasty. So they gonna do their own thing. They don't care. They try. I guarantee you, all 10 of these guys trying to win right now. I bet every single one of them. Which I ain't hating on that. Chris, one more rookie draft that we gonna look at, man. Just one more. And we'll close it up, and we'll talk to Kraft, and we'll see if he wants to talk any more rookie stuff. But eventually, we moving on. I done did my drafts. Chris, you done did all your drafts?
Nope. I'm done with drafts, dude.
So
unless it's for like another league, I'm done with drafts.
We'll put it like this. My most important league, I say it all the time, man. I talk all these leagues, and I talk what everybody does. They all do Superflex, tight end, premium. But here's the truth. My most important league, this league could be for free. And this would be my most important league, but the money is good. I like the money too. And the trophy sitting right here in where I'm at. It's my 10-man, one quarterback league. So the draft is way different. One quarterback league. And when I say way different, Chris, I think we might be way different than one quarterback leagues, period, because our values of quarterbacks, it ain't there.
It's nothing.
Nobody gives a shit. Caleb Williams, generational talent. That joker went at the damn
204.
204.
Jaden Daniels went ahead of Caleb Williams.
Oh man, and their ADP.
Pain in the ass.
The thing is their ADP. Yeah, that Drake of the NFL. That's what I call it. Their ADP. Caleb Williams' ADP was 105, and if I was doing a rookie rankings, I agree with that. I would probably rank him there for real, but when we drafting, I mean, all these guys, we probably got a few quarterbacks on our team, and we're thinking we'll just patch it up, and we ain't gonna sit here and go out spend a high draft pick on one of these quarterbacks like that.
Nope.
I know other leagues probably ain't thinking like that. So at the 101, Akil, but at the top of all these drafts, shout out to Akil. No playoff.
That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing.
Motherfucking dropped our little crew rankings today and never been in the playoffs, but put himself number 1 today. God damn it! But hey, you do your thing, Akil. Nah, I ain't hating on the kill. He had the 101 and he had Marvin Harrison. That's standard. Malik Neighbors, my brother. Shout out to my brother. He ain't gonna hear this, man. That joker's playing Clash of Clans right now. He is not listening to Fantasy Football Podcast. Had a great draft. Had a great draft in my opinion. Malik Neighbors, and then he took Roman Dunze. He had the 203. So to me, that's chalk. Harrison, Neighbors, Odunze. I know John sent me a little text. He said David's trying to make a push for the 102. And
I tried to trade him for the 103.
John asked, he's like, "Is there any trade from David? Would you do?" And I was like, "Man, I doubt it. Let me go look at his team." And I was like, "Man, John, he could offer the whole dang thing. I still wouldn't come off that pick, man." Terry McLaurin ain't doing shit for me. I'm just being honest. So that's chalk. Swizzy made a trade. We'll talk about this right now. Chris, a little bit before the draft, maybe a few days before, he traded Christian McCaffrey. Couldn't believe he did it, but he got Kenneth Walker in the 104 back. So
I just think that my thought behind that was like, that's like peak value. I think for Christian McCaffrey right there. You get Kenneth Walker. They didn't bring in a running back. They didn't do nothing over there. So, and then I get the 104 with it. Right. So I was needing a receiver, so I took Worthy right here. I was trying to trade up, and I was actually going to take Roma Dunze at the 3 if I got it, but I just went ahead and took Worthy. But I didn't want to give up too much to trade up one spot. I ain't doing all that.
And I think when I saw Chris get rid of Christian McCaffrey, I was surprised. I was like, "Damn, this dude Chris been riding Christian McCaffrey to championships year after year."
I'm just gonna show these dudes that I don't need Christian McCaffrey to knock your ass out the playoff.
Hey, point, man, proving a point. But this is what I didn't need
it, Jordan. Amari Cooper did that for me, dude.
Shoot. Chris, I ain't even gonna be mad at you because I've always said it, man. This dude, these running backs, they'll be at the high value. And then next week, you can't even get a second for these motherfuckers.
Yep.
You done had Christian McCaffrey for 2 years. You done got what you want out of him.
I done got I got two. This is my thought process, too, behind it. I got 2 full seasons out of dude that's been hurt every year he's been in the league.
Right.
Something's about to break. Something's about to break, bro. Something's breaking.
I think it's a good bet. Brock Bowers went at the 105. I know. See, Will's got TJ Hawkinson. I know he did not want to make that pick right there, but he had no choice, man. It got to a point where you can't move it around, and you might as well take the best player on the board, and I think he did that probably with Brock Bowers. Yeah, I think he did take that, and I'm not mad at you for going Xavier Worthy over Brock Bowers because we're not in a tight end premium in our league,
and I needed a receiver, so I just went and got the guy that I thought was going to have the most value right there.
You can ask old Big Dunk. He'll probably say I'm full of shit. But those tight ends in our league, you think the quarterbacks hold no value? These tight ends hold zero value.
Nothing.
You ain't getting shit from the quarterbacks. He's over there stacking them up like a fool.
Although I did get Dalton Schultz. I mean, yeah, because like that, our value for tight ends. I got Dalton Schultz for Chase Claypool. This basically just gave me Dalton Schultz. He was just like, here you go. It's basically like he threw a player in just so we didn't get in trouble. Like, it's what happened.
Oh man, yeah,
they have no value, dude. No value in our league.
So Goggles, a shout out to Mike. I thought he had a good draft too. He went Brian Thomas. John goes Jonathan Brooks. See, to me, I feel like everybody had a good draft. Like, Micah's a rebuilding team. You don't really need a running back. And honestly, he's got 2 good running backs anyways. Kyron Williams and Zamir White. No need. Go get you a wide receiver. I may have gone Lab McConkey right there, though, Chris. What you think?
I would actually go. I'm going to take the guy that went 3rd off that. I'm going to go ahead and take Keon Coleman right there.
Yeah.
Just because of the situation. I mean, that's who I'm taking right there. I would go Keon, then Ladd, and then Brian Thomas. Just because kind of sliding Brian Thomas back a little bit because I know you've kind of hit on it too. They didn't do nothing with that offensive line.
I will say this in Micah's defense. When it comes to upside, I do think Brian Thomas has a higher upside than Ladd McConkey.
I do. I think. I don't think than Keon Coleman, but
I don't think than Keon Coleman though. I agree. You know what, Chris? When you sit here and you look at it, I think I do agree with that. I think I might would have taken a chance on Keon Coleman. But Mike, if you listen to this, I ain't hating on that pick. I thought you had a really good draft, and he went Trey Benson at the 10th spot. So I'm talking about no quarterbacks off the board. I just want to put an emphasis on this. No quarterbacks off the board. Two wide
Oh, he
receivers,
got
one
Keon
tight
Coleman.
end.
He got Keon Coleman and Trey Benson. He had, so he took. Okay, never mind, Mike. You took both of them motherfuckers.
Hey,
Good
so
for you,
Mike.
because David fucked up and took Lad McConkey in the middle.
So Mike, next time you see us, just tell me and Chris to shut the fuck up. We don't know what we talking about. You did. You had a great draft. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you. Zamil, he goes AD Mitchell. That's in 2 leagues. Now, think about this, Chris. None of us like AD Mitchell, but Zamil did. So Zamil could have hit the jackpot on a couple of these leagues on a player that he liked, and we'll have to see. I don't like AD Mitchell. I don't like his landing spot. So I wouldn't have done it. Then Xavier Legette, John took him. Carolina fan. It's funny. 2 Carolina fans in this crew. It's just, to me, it's just funny to think about that. Chris and John. Some Panther fans. What's wrong with y'all?
Is Jonathan a Panthers fan?
Yeah, but he just ain't out and about like it.
He's not out yet. Yeah, it came out.
Nah, he's been one as long as I can remember. But
just come on, bro. We suck. Just we trying to get it together, but it's gonna take getting rid of Tepper's ass. I promise you.
It is funny, man. People in the crew don't even know John's a
I will tell John this. They let me GM for the next 7 years. I guarantee 2 Super Bowls. I guarantee on my life 2 Super Bowls if you let me GM them for the next 7 years. Man, I guarantee it.
Me and Phil, we talk about that shit all the time about if we could run a team or whatever, but what you call it. Then all right, here's where we go. This is where the quarterbacks go off the board. I had no picks in this draft. John had a second. I offered him 2 seconds for the pick, and I knew other people were trying to get that pick. And I was like, come on, brother. So he knew people were trying to get the pick. He was trying to take this pick, add a player, go see if he could sneak in a first or whatever. And I said, that's a good idea. You could do that. But I'm your brother. So, Nah, I'm just kidding. I pretty much got it to where John, he said he got a few other offers from some guys like, Z. He tries to do a little slick one, throw a third in there. Like, that ain't doing nothing for you. I just gave John 3 seconds. I said, here, 3 seconds. Let me get that second round pick. And then after that, I was like, well, damn. Now I don't know what to do. Because here's Jaden Daniels and there's Caleb Williams. I feel like Caleb Williams, he'll probably be starting for 10 years. Jaden Williams, he could be a Justin Fields. That's a possibility, but he could also win you some motherfucking fantasy leagues and all that stuff. So I got one quarterback. I went Jaden Daniels, and then I texted Chris and Kraft just to know what they thought. And they thought it was all right. So I was like, okay, we in business, man.
He's surrounded by weapons, and he can move. So, like, I think that fantasy-wise, you're going to be good. Whereas Caleb Williams not going to be out here scrambling for 60 yards a game. Is not going to be happening. He may be throwing for like 300-400 a game, but
yeah, it may be late. This may be lazy to say, but he's probably going to be kind of like Patrick Mahomes in a way. Like he's gonna have some great years. He's gonna throw a lot of touchdowns and a lot of yards. But then there's gonna be years like last year where Patrick Mahomes he was just like an average QB, fantasy wise. In real football, he's the best. But fantasy, it came down a little bit. So Caleb Williams, and that was John too. I mean, it got to a real tear break. The next pick off the board was Blake Corum, so it's like you might as well take that quarterback. David goes Blake Corum.
David love him some Blake Corum, bro.
He sure does. Blake Corum fan. And you know what? I want to sit here and laugh at David and clown him, but you know when he was like, Sam Laporta's my guy, I was like, you don't even know one damn thing about Sam Laporta. You ain't seen Iowa play. Stop it. He was dead right through like
David sit at home and watches the Hawkeyes game, bro.
I'm dead, man.
He'd be like, nah, talking to this girl, nah, hell no, babe, the Hawkeyes are playing. Can't do that. Can't do that. Hawkeyes on.
I mean, it's so funny. You look at David and you're like, show ass. And then he hits on the tight end 1 in year 1. So shout out to David. So I ain't gonna sit here and act like he's a fool for Blake Corum. We gonna see Blake Corum pop off, and I'm gonna die laughing when he does, man. I'm gonna regret trading.
I remember we did a lot of hate on Anthony Richardson, and then Anthony Richardson just blew the fuck up. Man, if he would have stayed healthy this year, he probably could have put up some ridiculous. I just wanted to see him finish that game.
Yeah.
Hell, he already had like 100 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns in the first
Chris,
quarter, dude. I was
what's
like, what the
crazy?
fuck?
What's crazy is I was 4 yards away from hitting on my parlay on underdog, man. I was like, y'all should just cancel that shit. He was going off, man. Give me my money. Fucking underdog, but man, that's really all that really we can really talk about because we done went through the wide receivers and doo doo. So I know Troy Franklin, he goes Ricky Pearsall. It's just pretty standard. You just pretty much take your guy from there on out. Jermaine Burton goes to old David. You know what? I want to give David a little credit. As much shit as we talked to David, heck, I roasted him. I could tell he was probably a little bit mad in the group chat the other day. Other than that one move in Doo Doo Dynasty, David had a real good rookie season, I believe, in my opinion. Except he didn't address some needs, but I do think he went out there and got some receivers. And in this league, he's trying to rebuild in the Cruise Dynasty League. It's going to take a while, but it's going to take a while.
It's gonna take a while. We're talking like picks you can't even see on the app yet. Wow.
Man, it's funny because I saw them. When you see them 27 picks come up, you're like, man, we ain't that far away.
I'm
man.
stacked, bro.
Yeah.
I got first for days. I'll trade my shit as soon as it pops up. I ain't even gonna lie. Don't be like, you ain't got no first. I'm like, you ain't won no championships.
I got Dunk first. It's on the block. Everybody ranking Dunk low. I know y'all know that Dunk. I don't know, man. I just want we gonna have. You know what? We dropping the cruise. We're gonna drop a podcast just for the crew. I won't put it on our regular pod, but I put it out for us 10. I can't wait to see what Dunk got to say. I think he might have to defend himself a little bit. His first might be a high first.
He's gonna be like. No, he's just gonna be in there just, I'm good. We're just waiting on that dunk breakout. That's what we're waiting on.
Man, if there was ever a man that was on Twitter getting his advice, it had to be him. That Jerry Jeudy breakout, that Cam Akers breakout, that shit.
That Kyle Pitts breakout.
Hey, Kyle Pitts. Dunk's high on Kyle Pitts this year. Whatever we was talking about on that last podcast.
I do like Kyle Pitts this year.
Yep, same. So, Chris, man, we just wrapped up 3 rookie drafts. We got 3 different perspectives. Is there anything that we just want to say out there? We're getting close to wrapping up these rookie drafts. If Craftman wants to come on the pod next week and say some things, obviously we're going to do it. But other than that, as far as we're going to be moving into some Dynasty rankings next, I feel like, and some super flex startups after that. I want to get everybody's Dynasty rankings. You're going to get a big sample size from the crew. Grass crew. So, Chris, anything you want to say to the folks out there?
I mean, I'm glad to be done with these rookies. The headache's over with.
Yep.
You ain't got to worry about it. Our draft lasted like 3 days. I was just sitting there like, God damn, dude, can y'all just pick players and let's get this shit over with? Like, after the second round, I'm just like, man, I don't care. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
If you listen to the podcast, man, let us know. Do you like to do slow drafts? You can't wait. Do you like to do a slow rookie draft? Or do you like to pick a day and put the pressure on and put folks on the clock, man?
My ideal draft would be in person with like a 2-minute thing, like where you had to like present trades and shit like that. Like that would be like my ideal draft. Like, but you can't ever get you can't ever get anybody on the same page. But that's the way life is.
Doo Dynasty. We're a year in advance. Let's see if we can get together one year, man. I know a lot of y'all down there in that Pike County, we're in that Pike County, Griffin, Lamar area, and I know there's people like me, Akil, Z, we're up a little farther, but I'll just throw them in the car with me and bring them down. Let's try to get together one rookie draft. The home league, the cruise league, there ain't no motherfucking excuse. We getting together. Ain't no doubt about it. Yeah, we can't do it this year, I guess. We already done did our draft, but next year, let's do it.
Yep.
All right, fellas. So thanks for listening to the podcast, everybody. With that said, we out.
Peace.